Hello, today I have a painting tutorial that I promised, but I'm going to do bolt action first and then go to Flames of War. This is going to be my first painting tutorial for bolt action. And so we're going to do German Heer. We're going to do a NCO with the iconic little hat that they have. This is a late war German Heer. And I'm not sure, I've got 3 of them, but I'll probably pick this guy right here. The MP40 Schmeiser, the iconic submachine gun. Primed black and based with Gale Force 9, 3 different types of rocks. And probably in another video I'll show you guys how I did that. But real nice thick matte black. I don't like the white. I really like you gotta layer it a lot more, so just black is real simple, makes it a lot faster, and I just like it more. So after you prime it, you want to make sure you get all the little, all the insides, like the crook of the arm, where the armpit meets the body, so you don't want to leave that gray. So for anything, the brush I use is the Army Painter. This is the Regiment brush. I use it for all 28mm and also 15. Really like the brush. I like the triangular grip. It's real nice. I believe it's Kolinsky Red Sable, if you want to use another brand. If you don't have these brushes, I find to help you guys, a good one would be Kolinsky Red Sable. Look for those bristles in any art supply store and you'll be fine. That way, if you can't find Army Painter or Reaper brushes or Games Workshop, if you can find Kolinsky Red Sable, you'll be fine. So that's a little tip that isn't super well known, and if you're a new painter, that really helped me. I had to look for it, but when I found out what it was, because I couldn't find the brushes, that's what I used. So the first thing I always do, this is my go-to paint. I usually undercoat everything in a brown, and this is I'll be showing you guys all the paints I have, and just in case I'll be putting them all in the description. So pretty much this is all Vallejo paints. The only paint that I don't use that's Vallejo is Citadel Chainmail. I use that for the to highlight the metal. This is what I use mostly. This is heavy Sienna, extra opaque. It's real dark, non-reflective. I really like this. But you can use pretty much any nice dark brown. These are some alternatives, just in case you guys can't find that one. You can use beige brown, also from Vallejo, that's from Model Color, and from the Flames of War line you can use English Uniform or Flat Earth, also flat brown. Any of these browns are good, the base coat, and I just pretty much do obviously all the wooden parts, the entire base, all the floor, the rocks. In this case the boots are brown, so I'll start with that darker brown. Also all the skin, I always base coat the skin in a brown. But before that, there's a little bit of gray in between, and to fix that up, I'll just use some watered down black. Just standard black, game color. I'm using this, I forgot what they're called. This type of, wet palette, that's what they're called. This wet palette I made that is really convenient. I hadn't opened it in well over a week, and the paints that I had used previously were still wet, they were still usable. It has a good seal. So another nice thing is you don't have to constantly be wetting your brush because there's already moisture in it. So that's real nice. You want to have this watered down about 50-50 with water. There are videos on wet palettes. I suggest maybe after this video watch it. Try to find a video on how to make a wet palette or look online. They're extremely helpful. So I'm not gonna. This will probably be a multi-part video, because I don't want to waste your guys' time or waste my time with a 7-minute video, because we all know, at least I do, that a 7-minute speed painting video isn't going to help anyone, especially the new people. It's just pretty much telling you what colors the guy used, and I don't have to watch a 7-minute video to just learn what colors the guy used. I can just look online for that or use other references. So this is going to be multi-part and as descriptive as I can make it. Tell you guys what brush I used, what paints, any little things I can throw in there to help you guys, because it can be real tough and intimidating for new painters, and I had zero help when I first started. I had to learn everything on my own. So that's why I want to make these tutorial videos. So basically what I'm doing is just finding anything that the primer didn't get to. And usually, like I said, the crook of the arm, the elbow, you know, the inside of the elbow, where the armpit meets the body, sometimes the neck area, you know, beneath any extra parts that you glued onto it. And usually like areas like this, you know, like in the middle there where the primer would be hard to get to, just let that dry real quick. Black usually does. And what's nice is that black is on the palette, it's not going to dry, so if I need it later on for any touch-ups, it'll be good. So we'll use my heavy sienna, like I said, or any of the other browns that I showed you guys, doesn't really matter. If you find that it's too light, just mix a little bit of black in there, and it'll darken it up for you. So heavy sienna is my go-to paint, and I'll be painting 3 of them so I can save some time. I'll be painting these other 3 guys, so you might see in close-up a different model, but they're pretty much all the same. They just have different equipment, but they all have the same head and same uniform. So I would be using a nice stand to put this guy on to make it less messy, but I'm using it for my Greek hoplites, and I only have 2 bases so I gotta do it the old-fashioned way, just holding it in my hand. This is all you need to do. You don't need to get that special base with a putty on an old paint pot, or use gloves, like those medical gloves. You don't have to do all that. That's just extra stuff. Because a lot of those painting tutorials are pretty intimidating. They use words that you don't understand and techniques that you don't know, just because you've never done it before, so that doesn't really help. So I'm just doing it as simple as I can, explaining it plain English. You know, no fancy techniques, nothing like that. I don't use a wash, so that's kind of like a lazy man's tool. I don't like washes. You know, it's very easy, especially if you haven't done it before, to completely ruin your paint job with a wash. So if you're going to use a wash for the first time, use a model that you don't care about to try it out, but definitely not something you're proud of, that you know that you put a lot of work into, so you might just ruin the model. It's kind of tricky using a wash. It is good for some things, but I'd rather just do everything by hand. So just applying this on the base, you know, the entire base, the edges of the base, the boots because they are brown, the skin, the face, the neck, the hands, that's the only exposed skin on this. For this guy, the bread bag, which is right here, the handle of the entrenching tool, and the canteen. And if I had, for example, you know, a rifle with wood, that would have been also base coated in this. Make sure you get the hand. It's okay if it's a little bit sloppy and it gets onto the uniform and other things, that's alright. Because this is just a base coat, this is just the first layer. So with this layer, on the skin especially, you want it to get into every little nook and cranny, so water it down a little bit and mix it in so that it gets into everything, you know, the cheekbones, the eye sockets, the mouth, you know, all that stuff. So it gets inside and it looks, so it pops out later on when you start applying the flesh colors. So you can see in the recesses a dark brown, which makes it look real nice. Here I have an example. He's almost finished. This guy has a helmet, he's not an officer. Just a rifleman kneeling down. He came out pretty decent. As you can see, the skin, that's like, you know, several layers of flesh, you know, starting with darker, ending up in lights, and you can see the details, you know, on the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the cheekbone. You can see the, you know, it's not blobby or anything like that. That's from layering and leaving darker colors in the recess, and I'll show you guys how to do that. But for the first layer, you know, you want it to get everywhere, so that, you know, when you do highlight and add more lighter layers, you can see the recesses and it just looks way more detailed, looks a lot nicer. And little things like that make a huge difference. So just right there on the rocks in between, make sure there's no black showing. It's okay if there's a little bit of black, but yeah. So next for the base, I'll be using flat earth once that dries, but in the meantime I'm going to start with the uniform. And if you want, you can base coat the entire uniform, and I believe it's German Camel, here, German Camel dark green, Viejo 979, Flames of War, to add some more detail. But as you can see, you don't really need it. This didn't have it. Just has layers of the uniform and then some highlighting, so you don't really need the to undercoat it in German Camel dark green. But if you want to add some extra detail, you can. Just do what I did with the brown on the uniform, including the puttees, the pants, the interior shirt, the jacket, and the puttees, also the helmet, the cap. So if you want to, you can base coat it in this same way I did with the brown, just to add some darker colors in the recesses. So next we'll do the uniform, and that is your standard. What's nice is for bolt action I can use all the Flames of War paints because it's pretty much the same thing, although Warlord Games has different ideas on what the colors should be for some things, but the uniform's the same. German Fieldgrey, World War II, just German Fieldgrey. From the Flames of War range of Vallejo, I believe it's also in game color, or model color. This is 830. This is for the uniform. It is different for Early War Blitzkrieg Germans, so remember, this is late war Heer Germans. Again, put that on the palette. It's a wet palette, so I don't have to apply water. There's already some moisture there. So probably, I don't want to give a ratio, but almost a 50-50. And here you're just getting it onto the uniform. It's okay if it's a little messy, it's just a base coat. So just get it in everywhere there. So this guy's going to be like a squad commander, the NCO, a sergeant if you will. Also get it on the puttees. Trousers, make sure you get every nook and cranny, all the insides. Now if you focus on this and you don't sidetrack too much, like I always do, I watch a show while I'm doing this, or listen to a podcast or music, get up and do something else. You could probably finish this guy in around an hour each guy, which is pretty fast. But in a good 2 hours, 2-3 hours, you can probably finish 3 of them if you focus. Alright guys, so there you go for the uniform. That was the first step, base coating. And so not keep it too long. That's where we are. I'll stop it here and do a part 2 soon. Alright guys, till next time.